Hello and a very warm welcome. Kolkata Knight Riders versus Rajasthan Royals. The match is being played at the Wankhede Stadium, and Kolkata would look to stop their loss, that series of loss. They've already lost 5 games on the trot. Will they be able to win this one against Rajasthan Royals, who are already in the top 3 of the points table? The news from the Wankhede Stadium is that Kolkata Knight Riders have won the toss and they have opted to field first. Yes, Shreyas Iyer at the toss saying that they'd want to bowl first because it seems like a used wicket. He also is talking about how dew factor will help them in the second innings. And a couple of changes for Kolkata Knight Riders. Anukul Roy has come in for Venkatesh Iyer. That is the big news. Venkatesh Iyer is sitting out of this game. Anukul Roy has come in for Venkatesh Iyer, and Shivam Mavi is also in. So that's the news. Kolkata Knight Riders winning the toss and opting to bowl first at the Wankhede Stadium. Last time these two teams met in this tournament, Jos Buttler scored 100 and Rajasthan Royals won that game. Can Kolkata Knight Riders avenge that loss? Can Kolkata Knight Riders win from here on? This is now the business end of the tournament. Can Kolkata Knight Riders win from this phase on? One change for Rajasthan Royals. Karun Nair, he replaces Daryl Mitchell. So one change for Rajasthan Royals, and again the reason behind it is unknown because they just made him sit out, then got Daryl Mitchell in. But all of that is not important. What's important is Venkatesh Iyer gets dropped for Kolkata Knight Riders.
That's a big one because now two of their retentions, Venkatesh Iyer and Varun Chakravarti, both are sitting out, and KKR I guess have admitted that these two retentions were not probably the best ones. But yes, Venkatesh Iyer, Varun Chakravarti, even two of your main retention on whom you have banked, on whom you have built the team around. I think if they don't fire, I think then that's the result of what KKR are witnessing in this season. It has been absolute disastrous for them.
It has been a disastrous season for Kolkata Knight Riders. They won the first 3 of the 4 games in the beginning of the tournament, and from there on have just been losing one match after the other. For Rajasthan Royals, Sanju Samson at the toss wants to win a few more tosses. Needs to take some tips from Kane Williamson. He knows how to win all of them. And also Karun Nair coming in for Daryl Mitchell in the game. He's saying that he feels that Karun Nair will be a better option against tonight's opponents, which is interesting.
And I think that's based on the pitch is expected to be dry and slow. Maybe Karun Nair's spin game will come into the play.
Correct. Okay, so let's take a look at the playing 11 if they are ready. Let's take a look at Rajasthan Royals playing 11. Like we said, just one change there. Daryl Mitchell sitting out and Karun Nair coming in. But how good has this team been? Led by Sanju Samson, but the real leader in this with the runs, with the bat, is Jos Buttler. 300s in the tournament already, 350s, most number of 4s, most number of 6s, most number of runs scored in the power plays, middle overs. Just phenomenal. His form's been phenomenal, and you can see that by seeing Rajasthan Royals in the top 3 of the table. The others have put their hand up as and when required with the bat, Shimron Hetmeyer being one, Riyan Parag being the other player. But it's the bowling that has been so good for them. Everybody chipping in, and then Yuzvendra Chahal, the orange cap holder. This team's got everything that can take them to possibly the finals.
Oh, why not? Why not? And I think one of the most balanced teams, be it batting, they have variations in the batting, be it left-hand, right-hand combination, different style, different players with different styles. Bowling-wise, they are absolutely superb. They have a leg spinner, they have a experienced finger spinner, they have a left armer who can bring the ball in, who can swing the ball up front. They have a Prasidh Krishna who can bowl you hard lengths, and then a gem of a find in Kuldeep Sen, a very good batting unit, very good bowling unit, and altogether I think I won't be surprised if they go on to make the finals this season.
Absolutely. They've got everything, and with Jos Buttler firing on all cylinders as we've seen in the tournament, I mean, can he break Virat Kohli's record? He's already 5 runs ahead in that. If you compare it to both of them being in the same stage of the tournament, we remember Virat Kohli's sensational form in 2016. Can Jos Buttler break that record? That's also another big question. But given the form that Jos Buttler is in, Rajasthan can hope to reach the finals. Now let's also take a look at Kolkata Knight Riders playing 11 before we get to the other stats. Now this team has had all the problems that they could have had with their batting. First being retentions, players who've been retained not performing. Now Venkatesh Iyer, who was their standout performer last season, is dropped at what is a very crucial juncture in the tournament. And I don't see how this is panning out, because are you saying Anukul Roy is going to be a better batsman for you than Venkatesh Iyer? Is that what you're saying? And where is Anukul Roy going to bat for you? That's another question. You tried Sam Billings, that didn't work. You tried Sheldon Jackson, that didn't work. Baba Indrajit has come, but hasn't really dazzled us. I don't know. I don't know what seems to be going wrong with this team, but clearly, even when I look at it right now, I don't see this team doing very well.
I think it will be Aaron Finch and Sunil Narine who will open tonight, and again Sunil Narine last opened against Gujarat Titans. It was against Express Pace. It didn't make any sense then, and now he's again up against Trent Bolt, Prasidh Krishna, Kuldeep Sen, again 3 express pace bowlers, and Sunil Narayan's record has been good against spinners, not express pace bowlers. So the matchup cards, I think KKR are playing that one wrong there. Baba Indrajit you just mentioned, and he's not an aggressor. He's never been an aggressor. Throughout his domestic career for Tamil Nadu, he has always been the guy who can hold an innings from one end. So is Anukul Roy. He's a good player, good all-rounder, very utility cricketer. But again, can you expect him to win matches single-handedly? No, not at all. The onus will lie on Shreyas Iyer. Aaron Finch has to score runs now that Venkatesh Iyer has been dropped from that opening slot. Aaron Finch is the one the entire KKR batting will be based on, and if he fires, then we'll see the likes of Nitish Rana and others, Andre Russell also chipping in with runs. But if Aaron Finch again departs for cheap, which I think he will, given that Trent Bolt is there in that RR bowling unit, I think it will be very tough for KKR to bat
I'm still not okay with this idea of not having Venkatesh Iyer there. I mean, you have no choice but wait for him to get the runs.
Yeah, true.
Because you're really not comparing him to a replacement in Anukul Roy, especially because your top order with Sunil Narine having been tested hasn't worked for you.
Yeah.
So you've got no, I mean, you've really reached at a point in the tournament where you just have to pray and hope that the players that you've put so much faith in start performing. And for them now, from here on, the only way I can see them doing well is if Shreyas Iyer starts performing like Jos Buttler. That's the only way I can see things changing for them. Otherwise, this is a really difficult road ahead for Kolkata Knight Riders.
Look at how Chennai Super Kings backed Ruturaj Gaikwad. That's the real quality of a team. You know, you have retained Ruturaj Gaikwad. He was off to a disastrous start, same as Venkatesh Iyer, or probably even worse than him. He was getting single-digit runs, going out for duck. But then CSK persisted on him, kept on backing him. He scored a 50 in between, 70-ish runs in between, and then again last night we saw him score 99 runs. So that's how you back your talent. If you have retained him, if you don't trust your judgment, then that's a different case. But if you trust your judgment, if you trust the player you have backed on, you have spent 8-9 crores on, then I think Venkatesh Iyer and even Varun Chakravarti, even if he's not injured, if his knee hasn't given up or his shoulder hasn't given up, then Varun Chakravarti ideally should be in that 11.
So my counter to that is that I understand with Varun Chakravarti, if you have options for Varun Chakravarti, I don't think you have an option for a Venkatesh Iyer at this point. You haven't really gone for a plan C. You don't have any options for disaster management here. So you just stick to the players that you put your money on. And having said that, I think also with the Kolkata Knight Riders, I mean, I think Brendan McCullum's philosophy of if you can't change the man, change the man, that's not clearly not working for them. But anyway, That's that then for the two teams. Let's take a look at their head-to-head record. Kolkata Knight Riders, just one match, they won more than Rajasthan Royals. But Royals, having won the last game that they played in this edition of the IPL. So it'll be interesting to see how Kolkata Knight Riders approach this. Okay, that is the head-to-head battle. We've already talked of how Rajasthan Royals' story has been. Their campaign has been successful in the tournament. For Kolkata Knight Riders, not as much. The X-Factor players, there you take a look at it. Kolkata Knight Riders have RR have in fact beaten Kolkata Knight Riders, and they are sitting in the third position with 6 wins in 9 matches. They're looking good. It's a good side, balanced side. Batsmen, batters firing, bowling unit coming along well. So that is for Rajasthan Royals. For Kolkata Knight Riders, like we said, going through a 5-match losing streak. And the troubles keep on increasing for Kolkata Knight Riders, the way I see it, because somewhere there is that lack of confidence in your own decision-making process. Okay, let's then talk about the X-Factor players. What can we expect from 2 players in these 2 teams? What can they make a difference? Can they win the match single-handedly? When we talk about X-Factor player for Rajasthan Royals, has to be Jos Buttler. He's done it more than a couple of times this season. And how good has he been? 566 runs in 9 matches, strike rate of 155. Just wonderful to watch him. And the best T20 batsman in the world at the moment. Seeing the ball like a football.
Absolutely, and I won't be surprised, Meha, if he goes on to score another century tonight, given how the KKR's bowling unit is looking at the moment.
And he likes the Wankhede Stadium.
Yeah, he likes the Wankhede Stadium, and if he can be cautious enough against Sunil Narayan, then I think another big score, another maybe triple-digit score is on way.
Yeah. Also to see him, some of the best bowlers have just been torn to shreds. Absolutely. And that's why it's fantastic to watch him, be it the way he batted against Mumbai Indians, the way he batted against Kolkata Knight Riders. It's been fascinating to just watch him bat. Okay, then the player who we've been fascinated by from Kolkata Knight Riders has been Umesh Yadav, where the batting hasn't been coming good. But my, oh my, he has completely changed himself. He's completely changed his, his approach so far. I mean, it's been fantastic. Leading wicket taker for them. Not too many people would have believed that he could be the one for Kolkata Knight Riders. I mean, especially in a team with Pat Cummins. And to think that Pat Cummins is not even playing, fantastic to watch Umesh Yadav. And
as you said, Jos Buttler loves Wankhede. Umesh Yadav also loves Wankhede. 9 wickets at Wankhede. Look at that economy, 5.58. That's absolutely insane.
And strike rate of 8.
Strike rate of 8, a wicket every 8 delivery. I think KKR fans will hope that strike rate remains intact against Jos Buttler, particularly in today's encounter. But yes, Jos Buttler took him to cleaners in the last match, and Umesh Yadav will be itching to prove his point at his favorite ground in India, I would say. The way he's bowling at the Wankhede, if there's a bit of swing, he's lethal as anyone. And his bowling at he has always bowled at good pace, but the most special thing about his performances in this IPL has been the line and length. He has been absolutely spot on with that. He had a blip in a couple of matches, but then again, you can't expect a bowler to pick up wickets every matches. He has been a standout player, I would say, for KKR in this tournament.
He has been indeed. Now let's also take a look at some of the key battles, matchups. First one being Sanju Samson versus Umesh Yadav, and this is interesting. 48 balls, 92 runs, strike rate of 191.66, but has also been dismissed thrice. That's a good battle on the cards.
Absolutely, and if Devdutt Padikkal is not going through a great run of form, if KKR can manage to bring in Sanju Samson within the power play, then I'm pretty sure that Umesh Yadav will come hard against him. And look at this numbers. Strike rate goes to 200. Umesh Yadav has had it say with 3 dismissals. So a very, very enticing battle on cards.
So that is Sanju Samson versus Umesh Yadav. But what about the next one? Jos Buttler versus Sunil Narayan. Now this is also interesting. 63 balls, 66 runs. That's probably one of the few times Jos Buttler has been kept quiet, and 3 dismissals.
And
that's the only way to stop him.
And this is not only IPL stats. This includes international matches as well. And you can see Jos Buttler has been very respectful of the fact that the bowler who is bowling is Sunil Narine. He knows his straight pretty well and has gotten success thrice as well. So Buttler gives respect to Sunil Narine, and I expect Buttler to keep giving respect to Sunil Narine in this match. And if he does that, if he plays out those 4 overs, then as I said, it won't be surprising if he goes on to score his 4th century of IPL 202.
You know what's fascinating about Jos Buttler also is, of course, the way he's batting. But when you compare him to who's next in that list, and he himself is a very good player, we've seen him bat so well. But again, the difference, he's sort of left the competition by a mile, by a distance. And that's why it's fascinating to watch him. And I feel like a lot more people are tuning in to just watch Jos Buttler bat. They probably may not be supporting Rajasthan Royals, but he's in that form where you'd want to pay money to watch him bat.
Oh, without any doubt, I think has been miles ahead of anyone in this season. We talk about KL Rahul being Mr. Consistent of IPL, scoring tons of runs every season, and he has been in terrific touch this season as well. But the difference you talked about, I think it's a bit. Jos Buttler is in a different league this season around, and he has played in sluggish tracks, he has played in good tracks, good batting tracks, and has scored runs everywhere. Hardly he failed in a couple of innings where he scored in 10s and 20s, but apart from that, he has been. He looks like a blue-eyed, very calm, humble guy, and he is. But when he's batting, he's a different monster altogether. When he's in that mood, I think he's, as you said, he's probably the best batter in this world at the moment.
And to see him, like you said, he just comes across as extremely soft-spoken. One of those interviews with him and Ravichandran Ashwin, he called himself quiet. Reserved, and and one can see why. But then the batting is completely different. The batting is, and it's not just him batting in one way. You see him get down and hoik a 6 over extra cover. Long on. It's everywhere. 360.
360. If AB de Villiers had the tag, and if Jos Buttler continues this sort of form in this tournament and in the future as well, I won't mind if the tag is passed on to Jos Buttler.
That's right. Okay, we got a little bit carried away with Jos Buttler, but why not? He deserves all the time that one can give him right now, praising his batting. But let's then move on to the other key battle. That is Andre Russell versus Yuzvendra Chahal. Now, this is Andre Russell completely destroying Yuzvendra Chahal. 37 balls, 80 runs, 216, 1 dismissal. But Yuzvendra Chahal again in bowling well, in rhythm. So this is interesting. How this will play out.
But again, will Andre Russell get that same sort of freedom in this underperforming KKR unit? That too against Yuzvendra Chahal. Will he take the risk against the highest wicket taker? He will eventually take risk. But against Yuzvendra Chahal, who is in form of his life, I would say it will be a very tricky task for Yuzvendra Chahal, for Andre Russell to take down Yuzvendra Chahal in this sort of form, because this season Yuzvendra Chahal is varying his pace, and that is where I have seen Andre Russell struggle against some of the spinners, especially be it Rashid Khan, who can vary the pace, who can fire in a googly, but again hold up his pace a bit if he's going hard against a good deliveries. And Yuzvendra Chahal right now is in that same mold where he's varying the pace, and I won't be surprised if Andre Russell, if Sanju Samson puts Yuzvendra Chahal, safeguards Yuzvendra Chahal just for Andre Russell to win that battle.
Okay, so yes, this will be an interesting battle. What is the battle that we're talking about? In case you're just joining us, the news from the Wankhede Stadium is that Kolkata Knight Riders, they won the toss. They've opted to field first. Shreyas Iyer at the toss saying that the pitch is dry and dew might play a role later on, so deciding to go to bowl first. And Shreyas Iyer has maintained this in the tournament, where he said that we like to chase targets. We need to have a target in mind, and we like to chase those targets. 2 changes for Kolkata Knight Riders. Big one, Anukul Roy comes in place of Venkatesh Iyer. Venkatesh Iyer is benched for this match, and Shivam Mavi is also included in the Kolkata Knight Riders playing 11. Venkatesh Iyer and Harshit Rana they've been dropped from the Kolkata Knight Riders playing 11. One change for Rajasthan Royals. Karun Nair comes in place of Daryl Mitchell at the toss. Sanju Samson saying these conditions they think would be better for Karun Nair. So there, take a look at the playing 11 for them, and we've already obviously talked a lot about Jos Buttler, but some of the others who've also done well. Shimron Hetmeyer, he's finished matches for Rajasthan Royals, so whenever they've needed him, he's done that. Then there is Sanju Samson. When he gets going and he's got the starts, I mean, that 55 was beautiful to watch in the first game, I think, that he played. But since then, a couple of 30s, hasn't really got a big score. Riyan Parag, again, redeemed himself after what people said, oh, he cannot score runs, why is he in the side? In the last couple of games has batted. And the bowling, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and I think Sanju Samson, those 30-ish knocks, I think that has done the job decently for RR, given how monstrously Josh Buttler is batting at the moment. But yes, the others, Shimron Hetmeyer, you talked about, Riyan Parag, you talked about, they have also chipped in with runs down the order, and Ravichandran Ashwin has been used as a pinch hitter as well, so a different role for him as the bat as well. So yeah, a different thing to watch in this IPL, and everyone in this lineup has
even
excelled.
Kuldeep Sen,
He's, for me, he has been one of the finds of the tournament. We saw Umran Malik in the last season, but we didn't see Kuldeep Sen in the last season, and that's why I'm emphasizing that Kuldeep Sen, a bowler who can bowl 140, 145 consistently, and he's second or third after Umran Malik and Lockie Ferguson in terms of highest average speeds in this tournament. So he's outshining Prasidh Krishna there in terms of pace. So a great revelation for RR, and one of the bowlers who will make a lot of noise in IPL in future.
Okay, now what can we expect from the Wankhede Stadium? Last two matches have been won by chasing teams, so Shreyas Iyer would be happy to know that stat, but RR have won just 3 in 14 matches at the Wankhede Stadium. Again, Shreyas Iyer will be happy to learn that stat. Average first innings score is 194 and average second innings is 182. So again, at the Wankhede now, it sort of it's kind of even now, isn't that so? Batting first and chasing.
True. And you know, one of the stadiums which captains have found hard to decode. Before the last two games, which were won by team chasing. The previous 5 matches were won by team batting first. So complete contrast results there. And yeah, KKR, Shreyas Iyer thought the pitch will hold up a bit in the first innings, and that's why I think they have decided to bowl first. Not a bad decision if they have the trust that they can chase down any total.
Yeah. Okay, now like we said, head-to-head battle. Kolkata Knight Riders have won 13 of their matches that they played against Rajasthan Royals, and Rajasthan Royals have won 12 in the IPL. Though the last match that they played this season, Rajasthan Royals winning that with Jos Buttler scoring 100 for the Rajasthan Royals. And to see the kind of form Jos Buttler is in, it's fantastic to watch. Okay, also we talked about the X-Factor players, but if we could just put up the playing 11 for Kolkata Knight Riders and talk a little bit about their bowling as well. We've already spoken about Umesh Yadav. Tim Southee has been a good replacement for Pat Cummins. And in fact, Tim Southee was doing well before Pat Cummins came in. And then after Pat Cummins was not bowling well, they got Tim Southee back. But you know, they're lucky to have Tim Southee in form, because if they'd not got that option, Pat Cummins, he was being very expensive, wasn't being able to take wickets.
Oh yes, I think they got lucky with Tim Southee in the auctions as well. Again, one of the players who wasn't bought in the first round but came in, and KKR snapped him up. So pretty lucky buy for them, and he has done well. He has done better than Pat Cummins in this lineup, and Umesh Yadav, Tim Southee, they are the only ones who are among wickets. Sunil Narayan, although he has bowled phenomenally well, his economy is the best in this IPL, around 5, which is splendid. But the wickets have come only from Umesh Yadav and Tim Southee. Shivam Mavid has done well in 1 or 2 matches, But you know, the main orchestra, the main recurring chiefs have been Umesh Yadav and Tim Southee.
And talking about chopping and changing this, they've used 20 players this season.
Yeah.
So that is incredible, and you still haven't got a settled playing 11. Now that brings me to the next question. Andre Russell. Should Andre Russell be promoted up the order, given that he is batting well? Now, again, I understand that this was a conversation even last year, but Andre Russell from last year to Andre Russell to this year, with his fitness concerns, do you think he should be promoted up the order?
Oh, I would have, if I was the captain, I would have batted him at number 4 or number 5 at least. He's not a. I don't think when you have a batter like Andre Russell, you will want to limit him to only just last 3 or 4 or 5 overs. He deserves to play more. If he fires, then he can win you matches single-handedly. If he doesn't, then he doesn't, given any situation in the match. So Andre Russell, when he's in such form, when he's scoring runs,
Yes.
I think then he has to. I know KKR won't do it, but if they do it, then it will be a welcome move.
That's right. For Andre Russell now, it's interesting. One of the big questions before this IPL began was Andre Russell's fitness. How that was a huge concern for them, whether Andre Russell would be able to bowl for the Kolkata Knight Riders. He's done both. He has, played some cameos, match-winning cameos for Kolkata Knight Riders. He's looked when he's batted, when he's got going. Of course, when he fails, then he fails. I mean, you can't do much about it, but when he does get going, you feel like he's batting well. So he could be promoted up the order. That's something that Kolkata Knight Riders should think about. But they haven't thought about that. They haven't also thought about how they've decided to get Anukul Roy as a replacement for Venkatesh Iyer somewhere. Again, some of these decisions by Kolkata Knight Riders baffle me. But the news then is, okay, so it's time now for the match to begin. The action's going to begin. Jos Buttler and Devdutt Padikkal opening the innings for Rajasthan Royals. They've got to stop Jos Buttler if they want to win this one, or they want to have any hopes of winning this match.
Umesh Yadav has the new ball, so he's the only hope in my opinion. If Umesh Yadav can get Jos Buttler out, if he can get going in his favorite favorite stadium in IPL 2022, then I think KKR have some chance. If they don't, then I think as I said, I'm expecting a big one from Jos Buttler today.
Which is again the thing with Jos Buttler, right? He's so methodical in his approach to his innings. You know, you never see a loose shot for him in the first 10 deliveries. We've seen him across. You'll never see him play a faulty shot.
And that's a special quality about all good batsmen. They take some time to settle down when they are good. When they are good to go, they know how the pitch is behaving. Then they know that if they can settle down, that Jos Buttler definitely knows that if he can settle down, even if he doesn't score a single run in the first 10-12 balls, he can make up for that and score at 160-170 strike rate.
Okay, News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to if you want to watch videos from the world of sports. So News9 Sports, please subscribe to it. That's it from Shubhan and me. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.